Hello guys. I'm trying to set up my my camera so that I can see it. So thank you so much for being here. And if you are new here, kindly subscribe. Um I'm going to go mute for a moment, but I'll come back. So hello guys. Today we are going to talk about another exciting topic. The last life we had, we were working on this project. I still have it here. I couldn't conclude it, so I had to keep it in one spot. And meanwhile, that project, because I looked at it critically, and it didn't reflect. Oh, we tried working on this. This is what we worked on the last time. So somehow I don't know if I like it. It looks too, too simple for my liking, but perhaps someone may like something like this. So I paused it for some time to look at it critically, and I wanted it also to resonate to what I call my signature um, bead design. So today we are going to talk about seed beads, right? And today, as usual, this is really beginner friendly, and I would like you to really get involved. Let us work on this exciting topic. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing because this helps my channel and all that. So we're going to talk about seed beads majorly, and how to make seed bead jewelry, and um, and then we're going to go nitty gritty into few tips how to work on a spot, how to correct some mistakes you make immediately, right? So that is what we are going to work on today. So seed beads, right? They are really the core of anytime the heart of many beading projects. I hardly can talk about how many bead projects that you have that you don't incorporate seed beads. I have a couple or two here that there's that seed bead is part of. For instance, there is really no bead that you don't incorporate seed bead. This is an example. Yes. So seed bead is the heart of beading, right? So you go into the bigger beads, you must have experimented with seed beads to explore further with bigger beads. Okay, I have another one here. So thank you so much for coming here. Yes, this is Sharon from Beading Crush, and we talk about beads, everything about beading, right? Generally. So today we are talking about seed beads. So we are exploring seed beads and then looking at how to make some projects with it, right? So I talked about earlier that for every project you have, for every project that you have on ground, you likely use seed beads, something like this. And you use seed bead to incorporate in your beading journey as you bead along. So, and it gives it a sort of versatility to your project. Okay, this is a tubular netting stitch and inter interlaced or interconnected. What makes it the netting, that the net thing outlook is the seeds that were used to interconnect with one another, right? Okay, this is another one that I made. If you notice, I wrapped the bigger beads with seed beads too. So this is the design using seed beads is quite endless. So it's versatile and it's also affordable to buy before you go ahead to buy all these other bigger beads, and also available in different colors. So you can just go ahead and pick some beads. Oh, what I do, let me just give you a trick. Hello, Amirana. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate. Yes. So today we are talking about seed beads. I'm making a beaded project, using seed bead to make a beaded project. Then we'll talk extensively and then work on 2 or 3 tips on how to correct some mistakes that you encounter when you're working with. Hello, Fair. Okay, sorry, so that I don't spoil your name, I will just designate you as FO. Femi, right? Fem Oyomi or something. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, my name is Sharon. Yes. And today we are talking about seed beads and how to use it to make a project. Oh, I have one that I made here as a project I made some time ago. So, before I got talking with Femi, this is a multicolored seed that I bought, 2mm seed that I bought some time ago. Oh, this is really handy because whenever you buy seed beads like this, you can get a lot of variant colors from it, and it helps you to pick so many colors that you want. Instead of you want to work on a project, you don't have any color, instead of like getting a single color like this, right? You can go ahead and get multiple colors, so it helps you to work on it. So this is also another project, a starfish I made some time ago. Yes, with seed beads too. So I'm just trying to talk about the versatility of getting seed beads, and most projects use seed beads to, finish their projects. Yeah. So when you are working on a seed bead bracelet, it is quite beginner friendly, and that is like the first thing you should go for if you want to start buying beads, right? For your beading journey. So think about getting seed beads. It will help you before you go for the big ones, because the bigger ones are more expensive to go. So you build essential skills when you use seed beads. It will help you with threading. It will help you how to do pattern control. Yes, you pattern your stuff. Then also, when you talk of tension control with thread. So once you thread your beads, first thing you use seed beads. So it will you really learn a whole lot using seed beads to explore. That is beginner aspect of your beading journey. Hello, Simi. Thank you for being here. So we are talking about what we are talking about today is how to make a seed bead bracelet, and or how to incorporate seed beads in your beading journey. Yeah, this is quite interesting, especially you want to make just a simple project for you, and you have beads lying around in the house, so you can just easily pick them and then off you go, just make some stuff. So how to work on seed beads is quite simple. Just thread and thread and thread and string, and then you are done. So it's really not that's a big deal, right? So it's a great way to hook you, especially seed beads come with so many colors like that. And before you know it, you have gotten something that looks wearable and something that you can enjoy. Okay, so when I started off, if you know my beading journey, when I started off, I had so many. My sister bought some colors, very colorful beads as of then. So I just got hooked, right? So that is how I just started beading. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just stringing the things, making some stuff. I just felt I needed to do more. I didn't know how length triangle weave. I didn't just know how I did that. So the today I can't even believe I've made a whole lot of progress. I'm just trying to encourage you. It may be something that if you do not go to the market to buy them, you don't know how to do it. It's simply as if you can get these shiny things, anything that catches your fancy, if you can get it, you string it, add color control, right? Just mind the colors that you add so that there won't be too many colors all over there. But then you could just pick a bead, string it, add some colors in between it, and then voila, you are good to go. So, and now by the end of this live section, you'll be able to make your own custom bracelet and avoid all these small frustrations that a lot of people have whenever they start. And that also frustrated me when I started off. So now the materials and tools that we're going to use, I'm going to run through this quickly because I have them gathered here. First of all, we are going to use a beading needle. In this case, I will just show you the beading needle, but we may not really use beading needle in this case because, okay, this is my beading needle. This is my size 11 beading needle. We may not really use beading needle here because I decided to go for a beading thread that is bigger, so it's easier for you to just change the beads, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So you're using a beading thread. Just go to your local market and get a beading thread. Okay, for starters, get a beading needle, get your local thread, your normal thread, that you use to stitch, mend some clothes and all that. This is a fishing line, so this helps so that the bead will not cut, right? So then you need your seed beads. I have seed beads here. Okay, I showed you this other one, right? But in this case, we are going to use let me show you. We are going to use, I packed it. I have already worked with this. We are going to use this. This is an 80 millimeter 80 seed bead. This is 80 coated champagne gold, right? We are going to use it. Then we are going to also use bead spacers. Okay, some of the bead spacers that I have here. How do I show you that now? Let me find a way to show you some of the bead spacers that I have here. And before you know it, you are working on your project, right? Okay, so let me let this. There is no one like you. Hello. There is no one like you. You are Yahweh. You are Yahweh. Okay. I'm trying to show you. This is my bead spacer. So first of all, let me work on what you're going to work with today. We're going to use an 80 seed bead, champagne gold seed. This is my bead spacer. We're going to use a bead spacer 4 millimeter bead spacer. Then we are going to work with, I have a teardrop crystal here. This is like 10 millimeter or thereabouts crystal. Yes, we're going to use it. Then we are going to use this is 8 millimeter, right? Size 8 millimeter pearl, 4 pearl. So it is not the original pearl. The original pearl is here. This is original pearl. But we're not going to use this one today. So this is for serious business, right? So this is the one you're just going to work and then you wear. Then I told you you're going to need your fishing line. Fishing line. Then in between, don't do anything fancy unless if you want to just entertain yourself, right? Mm, I think that is about that. So let us start. So the rule of thumb is just stringing. Okay, I have my scissors. I have my pliers, three of them. Then lest I forget, you need a beading tray. One, if you don't have a beading tray, something like a tissue or a cloth that will not allow your bead to slip. And finally, you need a hook. If you don't have a hook, you are going to make a hook. Just get a big you get a hook. We'll work on how to get a hook. We have fish hooks here, that fish hooks there that we can use as hook, and bead stoppers. If you don't have a bead stopper, this is a bead stopper. If you don't have a bead stopper, you can tie the bead round to stop the bead from falling, right? So that is yeah, so now let us start. Um Now you need I use 4.0 or 40 millimeter diameter fishing line, because of I do not want it to cut at the end of my beading exercise, right? Of your thread really matters. It will help the thread not to cut. That is one. Two, I want to talk about uniformity of your beads. If you want to have a cohesive project like this, you need uniformity. What that means is that throughout the bead length that you are using, the bead length, you must let the beads remain constant. In between, you just add designs, right? So let us just talk about step to step how to work on this project. So now cut off a comfortable length of thread. Let me cut off a comfortable length. So I cut it off. Now cut. As you cut, now we see both ends any bead can fall off on both ends. So you need to tie one end and the other end you slip in your beads. So for the purpose of those who do not have um, um, bead stopper or crimp bead, right? So I'm going to use a tiny bead. I'm going to use a tiny bead to stop. So I have a tiny bead here. Yeah, I have a tiny bead here. So I'm going to stop it. So I'm going to stop it. Now, because of so that at the end of the day, I'm just showing you live session how to work with your seed beads, right? So this is I've tied it, tie this, right? You see, I tied it with a bead. So now for this project, what we are going to work on, first of all, I'm going to make it really fine. So before we start, I told you I'm going to use a pearl, right? So I just cut off, I pulled out some pearls that I'm going to work on. So now start stringing in. In this case, uniformity really matters in this case. So as you string in the first pearl, right? as a string in first pearl, you need to add your champagne gold to it. So you see, I've done the first bead. Are you seeing it? So I've added one. So once you do like 2 or 3 times, you add a bead spacer, or you go ahead as you're adding, you add your bead spacer, that kind of a thing. So I'm adding the second one. I'm adding the third one. So far, this is what we have gotten. I've gotten this, right? Yeah, you have 4 like this. What I want to do is I want to add my bead spacers. So let's say I'll add the next set, the next three beads. I'm going to add 3 bead spacers, right? Let's go ahead and do that. I'm adding my bead spacer. Remember, this is a 4mm bead spacer. 2. So I'm adding my bead spacers to my bead. This is just how to make a single bracelet. Very simple and very fine. So maintain uniformity of your beads, and then you get to the length of your wrist. You need to work with always work with a beading mat, due to this will help the beads will not fall off. If you don't have a beading mat, as I giving you the trick, and make sure that you have maybe a tissue so that it doesn't your beads don't fall off. See, when you're working with this timber, you can just make a very simple project, a very simple wrist design that you can wear and go about what you want. It's really not something that you have to break the bank for. You can just make a very simple project, and before you know it, you are, you started making some designs. So this is what we have gotten so far. See, this is really fine, not bad, right? So by the time we are done, you're going to love it. So by the time we are done with this project, I'm sure you would love it, because this is one of those projects that you can easily make. Very simple. So I am alternating with big spacers and um my champagne gold, right? Three each, as I'm alternating it till I get to the length of my thread. Okay, so let's go there. So boom, 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 boom. So I need to be done because I am timed. I don't like to waste so much time on a live section, right? I don't like to waste so much time. So let us go there. Um, I don't like wasting so much time. So time yourself when you are going to finish, and then um, so then also another tip I want to share with you is, whenever you're working on your bead project, whenever you want to start, pre-sort your beads first of all. Just sort them out. So after sorting the beads out, you realize that it will be much more easier for you. It's just like working something before the D-Day, right? So that is a tip to gain success and work, within your target time. Yeah. Okay, yes, I'm making a a bracelet. Very simple and uniform. So I'm using pearls. In between them, I added bead spacers. So in case you don't have enough bead spacers, you can actually use 4 millimeter beads in between them to finish. So at the end of the day, my intention is to get the size of my hand. Oh, thank you so much, Maria. Yes, thank you. So at the end of the day, you just want to get something that looks like this. So you measure your wrist. Most times, if you use a tape, I think the standard measurement for um uh, a standard bracelet is 7 inches, right? So you walk it through, and before you know it, yeah, good to go. So pre-sort your colors before you start. It is quite easier for you that way. It will help you to save time mid project, also help you to meet your targets anytime you are working. So now we want to talk about the common challenges and fixes that we encounter whenever we're working on projects like this, especially for beginners, right? Um, it is one thing to make a project, is another to complete it without any issue. In case you encounter some frustrations along the way, I would suggest really to pay a little attention to this part so that before you are done with the project, you are good to go and you have sorted every frustration you met while you are working, right? So the first challenge that you always have is when the tension is not even. So for this one, what I mean by when the tension is not even is sometimes you notice some are wiggly, some are not some are not aligned. For instance, I have a typical example for you. Oh, I made this bead a long time ago. Until date, I still didn't understand bead tension. You can see this. Yes, this is an example of a bead project that exercise on even tension. Yes. The bead threading, I wasn't really minding how I was pulling them so tight. So as I was pulling, the thing was just becoming so tight, so tight, so tight. Okay. So that is that. Now, just adjust for every bead for every bead that you keep threading, just adjust the thread, you know, manage the thread, right? The thread length, manage it. So that is how to get to that. Okay, now I think I've gotten to the length of my wrist, right? So this is the length of my wrist here. We've gotten that. So it is time to close it off and make a sort of a sort of a sort of um clasp. So I have a bit, I have a cream cover here. You see, I have one here, and I want to stop it. I told you this is a very simple project. So for my cream cover, now that I'm done, to stop this bead from falling off, right? What I'll do is I'll add my cream cover. I'll add my cream cover. Once I add my cream cover, you see I've added it, and then I will add my bead. You can see it, right? So I add my, are you seeing the cream cover there? Yes. I'll add my cream cover, and then I'll add a simple bead to a sort of cream bead. So I want to, my intention is to tie it. So this is an example of if you do not have a a a cream bead. So you can always make use of your stop bead, right? So another challenge that you always have is when your bead is slipping off. So if your beads are slipping off, it can be a challenge when you start. So an easy solution is just use a stopper bead and a shorter working thread. So I'm using my stop bead here. So that can be a challenge. I have a stop bead here, so I'm using it. I want to stop the bead from falling off. So you have to be careful. So one, you do not injure your hand, and also you were able to crimp the thing, the stopper bead well. But if you didn't crimp it well, your bead eventually will fall off, right? So notice I didn't add the um notice I didn't add the teardrop that I used earlier. I didn't add it eventually. Okay. So now that I am done with this one, none of the beads are falling off. I can close up. So I need to cut off. So I need to cut off this threading, excess thread. I need to cut off excess thread. So I have cut off excess thread and I am there. So now I'm done with this side. I need to add another cream cover on this other side. So I have added a cream cover on this side. I need to add on this other side. I'm going to show you how to do. You notice that I had a stopper bead earlier. It wasn't, but just a small stopper bead that I used to stop the bead from moving, right? Now it is quite easier for me to work with since I have gotten. I'm loosening it. I'm loosening this part. That is what I'm doing at the moment. Yeah. So this is so far what I've done. So I'm loosening this part that I have a stopper bead. My intention is to add my cream cover, this cream cover on this other side. So I'm adding my cream cover. After adding my cream cover, I'll add another cream bead. So this cream bead, all I want to do is I want to, so I've added it. I've added it. You notice this other side, I've done that. So I've added this other side. I now need to close it up, right? So I want to align it on my hands gently. Make sure that I've gotten it secured. I've secured it in my chain nose plier, so I can, you know, finish it off with a squeeze, right? So this is it so far. This is what I've done so far. And you need to, now that I've gotten to this point, you now need to, trim off excess bead. Okay, I've trimmed it off. Now you press it down. So now you are done with this. This is the outcome of this. The next step is to add your what is it called? The next step is to add your hook and clasp. So we are working with the materials we have available, right? I have a jump ring here, so it will serve as my hook. It will serve as my clasp rather. So I have a jump ring here. Now you open your jump ring. You open the jump ring. Let me see where. You open the jump ring and insert in this and close up. Right? Open the jump ring, insert and close up. Other one, you are going to get a fish hook. Now, so let us talk about this pretty quickly. Let's say you have a broken bead. There is another challenge you often face when you have a broken bead. Meanwhile, I'm trying to open the fish hook. Oh. So I'm trying to open the fish hook so that I can insert my okay, let's go there. Oluwatosin. Okay, so let me insert Jesus every day is enough for Oluwatosin. Jesus every day. I have added it, so I need to, close up the clouds. Okay, so now that I have done that, okay, so this is what I have here so far, right? So you can always, add this. This is what I have done. So to ensure that this is not too, this is what I've done. Very simple and easy to work with. It's not a big deal. So to ensure that you have a very polished finish, I will look the excess. I will look the excess and then pull this one here. Okay. Oh, what am I doing? Please, are you hearing me? If you're not hearing me, let me know, please. Okay, so this is what I've done. I have managed to get this sorted, and this is unbelievably pretty. So as I round off, if you have a broken bead, the solution is you need to work with high quality beads and don't force the needle. Okay, so that is that. It's better you spend money to buy, even if they are not much, but they are quality than you bought something that is falling apart. Okay, that is that. Okay, now let us talk about advanced tips that we really need to work on. So this is what we were able to get. I'm sure you will love it. And we use projects that we had to get this one done. One is uniform, it's simple, and we could, work with what we had as hand. So let's talk about advanced tips, right? Using contrasting colors when you want to work with contrasting colors for striking designs and patterns, you do not overload the colors, right? So we also want to talk about tips when you want to use contrasting colors. Just use at least one or two colors so as not to, make it too overwhelming, right? Now, the second one is for beginners, another thing I want to talk to you about is your bracelet. Your bracelet, you may change it to an anklet if you want, or to a choker if you want. as far as you have the desired length, because obviously the standard length for bracelet is almost the same with that of the anklet, and also almost the same with just a little, you have to add a little add-on with that of the choker. So this is what we've done. Yes. Then if you use efficient bead threading, if you have enough bead threading, you'll be able to increase your speed. That's why I said cut off a comfortable length of thread. So we have been able to manage this one. Yeah. Now, finishing your bracelet, you saw what I did. I tied off with tied off the excess length so that it doesn't cut off. Then added my frame cover, added my crimp bead, and then I I crimped it and added clasps. So this is quite easy to achieve. It's not really difficult. Just get your pearls, get your beads, your bead spacers, and string and string and string and string and string. So before you know it, you can convert it to a choker, you can convert it to a bracelet, depending on the length. So you can convert it, just add a little length to it to convert to a choker. Then you can also make an anklet for yourself, right? Optional, if you do not want to use any clasps, just get a stretchy thread and then you are good to go. I'm almost done for the day. So let us recap our key takeaways, whatever we have worked on, what we have talked on. So now we need to summarize the process. Let me just, first of all, we got materials. We thought of a simple beaded design to make. Then we made sure that our beading is tension controlled. We didn't just get overwhelmed to get a weekly project, and then our finishing must be apt. So once you are finishing, it must give you a very clear finish from start to end. Now you have, once you repeat it, you have a favorite bead to give to a friend. Okay, so say thank you so much for watching and sticking with me thus far. If you found this project interesting, if you found it helpful, please click and click and subscribe, like this video, chat, comment, share to other friends that will love to work on something like this. There is one last thing I didn't tell you about. Remember, I didn't add this one, right? Yes, I didn't add this. I can as well add it here. I can as well add it as a design. So when next we talk about something like this, you can just get a sort of chain. You can get a sort of chain, right? And add your bead. So let's say this bead um is quite long small for you to wear. You can easily do something like you can reduce the pattern and always reduce it. So you can use this as an add-on either in between the beads, so that will mark as the midpoint, or it will be something you add as an add-on, a design on the bead. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. So turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss the two live. Now we are going to explore on cultural bead patterns from Africa. Yes. And also their meaning. You know, we're going to talk about bead patterns that we have, the meanings, and then if you have made a very simple project, please share it and so that I can feature them, and then invite friends to watch this live, and also take your time, go through the live and see how we did. I didn't even show you BTS, that is behind the scenes. I will just, because it's a simple project that you can watch on as you make. So that is that. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate. Okay, do well to comment, like, subscribe, and there you have it. Bye. Shoes. Auf Wiedersehen.